Mecca was this center of commerce, and it was controlled by a single, really powerful tribe, the Quraysh. But this tribe was so big that it was split into all these competing clans, and each one had a specific job to do to keep the city's delicate balance of power in check.
And this power structure was actually pretty fascinating. The Banu Hashim, that was the Prophet Muhammad's clan. They handled all the religious stuff. The Banu Umayyah, they controlled the economy. And the Banu Makhzum, they were the warriors. And Umar's clan, the Banu Adi, well, they were the diplomats, the mediators, the guys who solved disputes. And his father, Khattab, was their leader.
Now, this background created this really interesting duality in Umar's personality. From his dad's clan, he got the skills of a diplomat. He could debate, negotiate, and solve problems with words. But his mother, she was from the Banu Makhzum, the warrior clan. And from her, he got this stern, fiery temperament. He could either talk you into submission or, well, intimidate you into it.
And adding to all this was his sheer physical presence. Umar was incredibly tall and muscular, a famous wrestler. They used to say that when he stood in a crowd, he towered over everyone so much that it looked like he was mounted on a camel while everyone else was walking. This mix of brains, intensity, and just pure physical dominance made him a natural leader and a successful businessman from a very young age.
So it's really no surprise that when the Prophet Muhammad started his mission in Mecca, Umar, a spokesman for the old guard, became one of Islam's toughest opponents. He saw this new faith as a direct threat to the traditions and the power structure of his city, and he fought against it fiercely. His conversion story, man, it's like something straight out of a movie. He gets so frustrated that he decides he's going to end the problem of Islam by killing the Prophet himself. But on his way, a friend stops him and, to throw him off, reveals a secret. Umar's own sister, Fatima, had become a Muslim. He's enraged. He storms to her house and strikes her. But the sight of his sister, bleeding because of him, it just shocks him to his core. Overcome with guilt, he asks to read the scripture she was holding. And the words of the Quran, they pierced his heart, and in that one moment, the persecutor became a believer.
He was 32 years old. With his pledge, the tiny, persecuted community of Muslims in Mecca grew to just 50 people. Now that's a small number for sure, but with Umar now on their side, everything was about to change.
You see, Umar's conversion wasn't just a personal change. It was a seismic shift for the entire Muslim community. His strength, his reputation, his absolute fearlessness, it gave them a shield they desperately needed.
And the change was immediate. And I mean dramatic. Before Umar, Muslims had to pray in secret, hidden away. After Umar joined them, they walked right out and prayed publicly at the Kaaba, the city's most sacred site, for the very first time. He pretty much single-handedly turned them from a hidden sect into a public movement.
From that day on, his life was completely dedicated to this new cause. He gave up his status in Mecca to migrate to Medina. He fought in the community's most critical battles, and when the army needed funds for a huge campaign, he famously donated half of his entire fortune. Just like that.
His judgment was so respected that he earned the title Al-Farooq, which means the one who distinguishes between right and wrong. This name really stuck after key moments like the Battle of Badr, where his very strong opinion that no prisoners should be taken was later backed up by a Quranic revelation. It just cemented his reputation for having this incredible moral clarity.
But the community's most difficult test was still to come. After years of leading and uniting the Muslims, the Prophet Muhammad passed away. And this plunged everyone into a state of shock, grief, and just total uncertainty. Umar himself was so overwhelmed that he actually drew his sword in the main mosque, threatening anyone who claimed the Prophet was dead. I mean, it was a moment of pure crisis. The community could have just fractured right there. But his close friend, Abu Bakr, stepped forward, calmed everyone down, and gently brought Umar back to reality.
In the chaotic hours that followed, it was Umar who acted decisively. He was the very first person to pledge allegiance to Abu Bakr, a move that united the Muslims and prevented a potential civil war. He then basically became Abu Bakr's chief advisor, his right-hand man. And crucially, after many of the people who had memorized the Quran died in battle, it was Umar who came up with the idea of compiling all its verses into a single book to preserve it forever.
So, fast forward 2 years, and now Abu Bakr himself is on his deathbed. He knew he had to make a decision that would determine the future of the entire empire he had worked so hard to keep together. He needed to choose who would come next. He talked to his closest companions, but a lot of them were worried. They thought Umar was too strict, too harsh to be the leader. But Abu Bakr offered this incredible insight. He said,
Umar is only strict because he sees me as soft. When he is the leader, the weight of that responsibility will change him. He saw the leader hiding inside the man.
And this is huge, okay? In an age that was completely dominated by dynasties and bloodlines, Abu Bakr didn't choose his own son. He didn't choose a relative. He chose the person he believed was the most capable. He chose merit over family. He chose Umar ibn al-Khattab.
And with that one decision, the stage was set for one of the most transformative decades in all of human history. Umar's journey from being a fierce enemy of Islam to its greatest champion is just this incredible story of conviction and change. And it really leaves us with a question: what can a story like his, one forged in conflict and in faith, teach us about the nature of leadership today?